Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. We are playing in the Hardcore Abyss League as a Volatile Dead Inquisitor, and today we're going to run the Tier 4 map, City Square. This is a new one. Monsters will have extra damage as cold, and they take a reduced extra damage from crits. Good thing is, my crit multiplier is 0. So it's one of the maps located in the bottom right, and it is based on Act 5. I did do a quick wiki check, and we will be dealing with 3 different bosses here, probably in the center of the map. It's set to be very reminiscent of the area. Let's see, we have some corpses here. Yeah, that works. So they'll be based on the matriarch and the effigy. And there's going to be 3 bosses, lots of projectiles that have fire as a base damage, and of course now they'll also have cold. So there's going to be lots of projectiles here. That's going to make it interesting. But that's all right. Interesting is good. Oh, charging in. Yeah, these are interesting monster types. But then again, interesting does not mean invincible.
An orb of immense power.
Okay, parasites. Yeah, see? Volatile Dead is actually pretty decent for just hunting down... Oh wait, I'm standing in a caustic cloud. That's why I couldn't clear it. I thought it was just poisoned from the hit of one of those things. Let's see, 67. Yep, that is the good level. Yeah, that's a good level. So in between episodes, I did make some small changes to my loot filter. And I'm now showing the lower tier rare maps, rare items as well. Just to make it a little easier to just pick up items for currency gain. A while ago I undid that, figuring it would be good on items, but you're never really good on low tier currency, at least I'm not. And it's much nicer not having to constantly hold Alt to just double check, because well, that's what we got loot filters for, right? Okay, so it does branch out quite a bit. Let's just put on at least one volcano there, trigger elemental overload. I definitely don't trigger as many volcanoes as I ought to. Let's keep in mind the scorching ray does not hit. It's a continuously burning line. It doesn't even ignite, it burns. So, good thing is the burning damage is separate from ignite stacks, even though both effects cause burning. But because they are distinct sources, they do stack. But it does mean that only the Volatile Dead orbs normally trigger... Oh, there's, wow, 2 abysses next to each other. That's interesting. So let's not trigger that one. Instead, just follow this. You look like you were charging up. Hexproof. Yeah, that's why you were so tough. Okay. There's something burning there. It looks like they just dragged me straight into a boss fight here. Oh, that is brilliant. Just brilliant. Okay, 1 abyssal trove, 1 dungeon map, and well, this I think I saw. Yeah, see, that looks very boss-like. Okay, so let's prep and then charge in. Multiple bosses. You are burning corpse. Okay, so you burn corpses. Yeah, so you got the burning corpse and you got the corpse burner. And then we have the effigy. Yeah, and corpse burner, as the name implies, burns corpses. Who would have thunk that? Good thing is, we don't strictly need corpses. They're very useful, very good for damage. But even without corpses, I can do damage now. So there we have it, unexpected boss fight. I'm very happy that the bosses did not trigger while chasing this abyss. That could have been, let's go with the word unfortunate. Yeah, that could have ended very unfortunate. Could have got very interesting. Another one of those words that you can attach a lot of different meanings to. But we still have the remainder of the map to clear. We have another abyss to trigger. So let's do that. So let's pick up these items just because, and then yeah, let's trigger the actually, let's clear out some of this before we trigger the abyss. Just to make sure we've been here, cleaned the monsters out. Because if the abyss leads forward, then the backtrack is going to be even longer. Another abyss up there, and a Haku. So Haku means side area. So none of the abysses are able to trigger an abyssal depth. That is convenient. On the other hand, I couldn't try my theory of if we keep the totem alive long enough for the timer to expire, that we might get another boss level or something afterwards. One of the interesting things, of course, of timers in this game. Most of the time, if a timer is ticking down, you want to kill things before the timer expires. In this case, we're not really getting a lot of instructions. So you might be able to attach a different meaning to it. Okay. Okay, and there is our reward. And going full on items again. Poniard. And Sage and Vice is of course slightly larger. So emptying pockets. So that's the second hole. As I said, most maps if the loot drops are decent, and especially if you get some abysses, because they help with the decent loot drop quota, then 3 holes is definitely not an odd thing. And 1 Haku side mission. He's getting a fairly decent way towards level 7, about 2/3 there. So let's see, slightly more dangerous here at level 72 than normally during the warm-up, the daily missions, which I think right now he's at level 74 there, or 64. At that point you can ignore the monsters. Here, don't think it's gonna be totally wise to do that. Having some monsters prepped and ready does help if things get dicey on the way out. Corpses are good for that. Okay. The totems and their interesting effects, especially Tahi with the teleporting totems. They are also among the more interesting, gnarly, deadly, however you want to call it, effects. In this case though, turned out rather fine. Okay, so we are reviving dead enemies, that is fine with me. That means effectively once my Quicksilver flask is empty, I can just pick a fight with something. Well, actually, the way back was short enough that I didn't need to. And he inched closer to the next level. Now getting your masters to level 6 is something that... Well, 5 is pretty easy. 6 requires a little bit of effort for daily missions. 7 is a grind. And 8 is... Well, I think I've only done it once in a league where I think I unlocked 100 maps or something. If that. Nice thing though of having a master at 8 is that you only need to do the daily mission for the resetting of the effective loot offer that they get every day, and of course to have a small chance of unlocking a unique item for purchase every day. Let's see, it probably is a dead end. Let's double check. Dead end with lots of enemies and a shrine. Oh, a massive shrine. Good. Means AB goes up, and look at the size of my beam. Oh. Kinda missed that one. 0 monsters remaining. That's actually pretty good timing. Let's see, put that one there, put that one there, put that one there. Then I'll grab this gavel. Oh, some whetstones, 20% quality, one map that is not useful, and you got yourselves a chisel. It is very nice that way. But no, that does complete the map. Everything done, multiple abysses, new bosses, the whole shebang. So that was a good run. So I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.